New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is JLS from Nick Time Show here, giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And it's time to talk about a disappointing loss because the Knicks lose to the Timberwolves 116 to 99. And we're going to talk about it all, the good, the bad, the ugly. There's a lot of ugly today to discuss, so we just going to get into it. Before we get into it, I'm going to introduce you to my peoples. First and foremost, it is the Latin, the Satin, ESPN contributor, Post and Toast contributor, Bleacher Report contributor, our guy, the Escobedo. What's going on, Lee?
Another unbelievably brutal loss of the season. Probably Minnesota's best win of the season. Another game where we allow the opponent to shoot scorching hot from the perimeter tonight. 57%, 21-37. Unacceptable.
Yeah. And of course, you already know it is our ex-D1 baller, Ebony, in the building. What's going on, Ebony?
I'm on. I had to unmute. I almost forgot about that part. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm just ready to get into this. Get y'all guys' thoughts on today's loss because I think it's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, this is a lot to talk about, and I feel like themes are rearing its ugly head. Themes like 3-point shooting, themes like lack of bench play. Themes like running out of gas, all that has been happening today. But another theme that I want to throw into the mix is, man, we are really useless offensively without Cat. Like when Cat doesn't play, we struggle. We don't beat teams. The only team we really beat was the 76ers, who didn't have Embiid, and we barely beat them in overtime. Cat makes it 10 times harder for us to score. Brunson, a guy who can score in tight places, is the only guy who can really seem to really get off. Everybody else seems to struggle in those scenarios. When you're looking down like the stat sheet and you're looking for efficient scoring outside of Brunson, you have to wait until you look at the bench till you get to some kind of efficiency. The starting five, not much there when it comes to scoring or efficiency. You have OG Anunoby, though, actually 5 of 10, 3 of 6. Maybe he could have got a couple more looks. I don't know. Mikal Bridges, who's supposed to be Robin, was 6 of 17. Jericho Sims, he actually attempted 2 shots, 1 hook shot. I actually kind of liked. Josh Hart had a bad shoulder. Josh Hart was shooting bad, has been kind of shooting weirdly up and down the last few games anyway. So, but add the bad shoulder on top of that because he injured himself today. Can't really blame him, really. And then you go Precious to 2 or 3 for 10. Deuce McBride 2 for 6. Like, it was a struggle for us to score. And man, we miss Cat for sure.
There's a lot of topics to talk about. I got a lot of things to say about a lot of things. I took no notes on freestyling it today. So Jay, you bring up a topic and I'll tell you what I got on it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about. Well, we kind of already know that this is going to be crazy it's going to be hard for us to score without Cat. But defensively, I do feel like we are better defensively at the 5 without Cat, but we're still finding ways to get beat at the perimeter. So let me ask you guys, what are you guys seeing that's allowing us to just be beat at the perimeter?
Can I go?
Sure.
Can I go?
I threw the alley to you guys.
No, I'm about to get my dunk on it. Yeah, I seen a lot. We have these spurts of mental lapse and on both ends. It was a time they mentioned it over and over this game how Anthony Edwards only scored he started the game 0 for 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the first half, I think he was finished at 5 for 5 he hit 5 out of his 7 shots. And the first half ended towards the halftime. One thing we did though is we allowed him to get clean looks. We kept dropping back. We went from maybe hedging him up a little bit, meeting him to dropping back, and he was able to take a dribble and get into his rhythm and pull up over us with a good look at 3 and get it into rhythm. Also, Jalen Brunson on that pick and roll defense, he does try to hedge and show himself, but he takes wrong angles. So they always turn the corner on him. It happens all the time. So now we got two people but essentially on one person right now, and one of them is getting beat. That's never going to end in good results. So you get open 3-pointers, and eventually people will hit that. Those open threes, that's practice shots for some of these players. You work them into a rhythm. And another thing I've noticed, we keep switching with Jalen Brunson on bigger players. We did
Yeah.
it a couple times today. We did it off ball today, this a couple times where he switched and he was on Randall. That's never going to work. That is never going to work. And then when we realize, oh, he's on Randall, now we have to double. And you give good shooters good looks again, and we get torched. We can't play this type of defense this day and age where everybody's looking to shoot threes. That's what they're doing. We maybe have to try to run these people off a line every once in a while and see what happens then. But I've noticed we take a lot of wrong angles on those picks, and we take a lot of make a lot of wrong defensive decisions that we have to pay for at the end.
Lee?
So that's what I saw today. A lot of wrong angles, and again, this back dropping too low. You can't do that on everybody. You can't do that on the likes of Anthony Edwards. You're giving him a good look. Granted, you think you're winning when he takes that shot, but if he's torching you and he continues to torch you, you have to not drop anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
You know what? With the Edwards thing, I'm not gonna hold you. I feel like a lot of the Anthony Edwards threes were like tough shots, man. Like every time he had like that one dribble crossover pull back three, I'm like, I don't necessarily feel like that's a good shot for anybody to take in normal basketball land, but Anthony Edwards was hitting that. Like he did that same move like 6 or 7 times today. And
I watched it when he checked back in that game, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
He made an immediate impact. He went on a mini run by himself. He hit bad things like back-to-back threes. He hit a three. Then he went around Jalen Brunson on both of those.
I know exactly what play you're talking about when he went around Jalen Brunson and they tried to blitz him and he went to the hole. Yeah, I know. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
He did that a couple times. He did that on both ends, like first half, second half. He did that a couple times, and then he hit a three in Precious face a couple times also because we kept dropping and keeping dropping, and he just dribble one up and get into his pull-up, get right into rhythm, easy peasy, shoot right over you, boom. That's it. That's too easy a shot for a scorer like Anthony Edwards. And at the time that's when you have to make adjustments. You got to either try to get it out of his hand. Even when we did try to do that with the Jalen Brunson and he went around, he actually drove to the rim and kicked it out because now we have to recover. Kick it out to, I think it was Walker Alexander. So we got to get our defensive philosophy schemes. We got to work on them. We got to work on them.
I mean, I see something different from that. But what did you see, Lee?
This is one of the toughest parts about doing a game, doing a podcast after a tough game. It's therapeutic in a way, but also it's very hard not to be emotionally reactive to what you're seeing. I'm upset that we lost this one. I'm going to be frank. I'm more upset about, and you pointed out when we started, the trends.
Yeah.
The trends are disturbing, and this is tough to say. There's a few of them I don't think can ever be resolved with a combination of this roster and this head coach. Some of those trends I have been pointing out multiple podcasts when I see them. So we have reference points now. And I'll bring up a few of them as the topic comes up. But the first one is the argument I've had about Tom Thibodeau being an antiquated coach defensively and how he was known as a genius during the 2000s when he was scheming for very low scoring games, half-court driven games, a lot of post coverage, even guarding the pick and roll, but not high pick and rolls, low pick and rolls, where it's mostly a very small guard and a very big. And those centers didn't have a whole lot of like on-ball ability. They were just more rim rollers. His defensive schemes were executed perfectly by the avatars of Boston, then Chicago, and even Minnesota. But around 2017, 2018, the entire NBA changed, and the volume of three-point shooting really shifted the gravity, and teams had to adjust. You saw Greg Popovich adjust in San Antonio. You saw Eric Spoelstra adjust in Miami, and you saw Ty Lue in real time adjusting to Golden State becoming a better and better three-point shooter with Cleveland. And the rosters adjust as well in terms of the type of players you need to have to defend the three-point line opposed to being in a very hard drop every single game, no matter who the matchup is. Tom Thibodeau, I do not believe can change in that regard. I think he has a mindset. I think he has a philosophy, and he has a game plan that he will not deviate from. You know he won't deviate from it because we have been dead last in pace and 3-point volume every single year, and as well as guarding a 3-point line. He is going to overcommit on making sure that there's not easy dribble penetration at the rim. I get it. But that shot, when you double on that, you are now allowing the greatest possible offensive set to be open, which is a 3-point line. And people are putting their best shooters in those spots. And that's why we're seeing guys like Isaiah Joe have career nights against us, because Thibs is purposely leaving that option open, and we're not making in-game adjustments on the fly with the guys that are on the court in order to counteract that. So I understand opposing teams are always going to hunt Brunson and pick and roll. We all know that. Everyone knows that. But to know that, and then not to insert some level of pre-switching, not just on the pick and roll, but on Brunson on the perimeter, where you don't get these opportunities where you're guarding Julius Randle, or Brunson's guarding Julius Randle, or in the past, Brunson's guarding Jalen Williams and it's OKC, or Brunson guarding Siakam, but it's Indiana. There's no level of minutia, and not just the responsibility of Brunson to call for that or initiate that defensive switch, but the players are starting to be checked out as well because they're overextended. Talking about Hart, talking about Bridges, I'm talking about OG. They're having to guard so much. OG really guards 2 guys in almost the whole time. And to do that and also insert themselves and allow themselves to be involved in pre-switch actions is asking too much of your perimeter players. Yeah. No other team is doing that to that degree. If you're going to play a player like Jalen Brunson, who is an MVP, perennial MVP talent right now, you have to also admit that he brings great defensive deficiencies. That's even worse when Karl-Anthony Towns shares a floor with him. But if you're going to have Jericho Sims or Precious Achiuwa at the 5, why are you going to have a small ball 5 and still play Precious and drop? I don't understand it. Why not have him in his limited minutes really be that pre-switch action for Brunson to get him off of the perimeter line so guys don't even have to really worry about any type of defense or air being between them and their defender because Brunson's height, stature, and size? That is what's most confounding. And we're now in year 5, I believe, of Tom Thibodeau. I do not ever think it's going to change. I think the team is just going to have to outscore their opponents from here on out for us to win a championship. And that's very worrisome. I think there are other coaches out there that would be better suited for this roster. This is also Leon's fault. And I've been very, very showering with praise about Leon, but being a badass at Zach, and Thibs being a very good coach. That hasn't changed my opinion. But Leon has given Thibs a roster that no longer fits his strengths. That's an issue. So either, make some solid changes, or Thibs has to change the rotations or expand the rotations, because what you're doing right now is the definition of insanity.
I'll say this. The first half of the game, I don't think our defense was so bad in the first half of the game. I feel like the second half of the game is where things start to unravel. Naz Reid hit a lot of shots. Naz Reid hit shots from like 6 feet behind the 3-point line, which is kind of hard to guard. The lapses that I really saw in the first half were the offensive rebounds that we're giving up, for sure. I felt like the Timberwolves wanted the rebounds more in that first half. And Brunson was getting dog walked by Conley a lot in that first half, and especially in that first quarter. And I think he tried to do a better job of that in the second half, but like I felt like he tried to do a better job of that in the second half, and then fires started to spring out everywhere else after that. Which kind of brings me to the second point is I still kind of feel like we're still being, like you said, Lee, overextended. The wings are being overextended because I feel like the rope defensively was getting let go of more and more the game went away. The more the game progressed. I feel like the 3-point shots, before Naz Reid was hitting 3-point shots 6 feet behind the 3-point line in the first half. And now you're just getting wide open corner threes, which is like a whole nother type of, laps, wide open corner threes, wide open elbow threes. Those are the type of threes that you shouldn't be giving up consistently. And it's and that's what's concerning to me when it comes to trends. It's man, we can go from fighting and clawing to even ourselves. We were hitting threes at a high clip in the first half. And then the second half, we fell off a cliff. And then you look and it's like, oh, we're back to 8-man rotation. You look and you're like, wow, Cam Payne had 18 points in a span of 4 minutes, and we never went back to him. Like, not even, he finished the game with 18 points in 12 minutes.
That's another thing I was about to point on. But before I get to that too, one of the times I remember one of the times JB took a wrong angle on the pick and roll. He actually got Precious posterized. That's when Ant got the N1 over Precious.
Yeah, that's the
that's
one
how
you were
he
talking
got
about when
in.
he put the wrong angle. That's what I remember
No,
most
that was
vividly.
one of the times. I
That's
forgot
what I
about
remember
that
most
till just now.
vividly when
Yeah.
Ant went around Brunson and got the N1 on Precious. Yeah.
The one I was talking about before happened in the first half. That's when we came back from the sub. That's the mini run he went on by himself. That's the angle I was talking about. But with Cam Payne, here we go again with freestyling and going with the flow of the game. I actually gave them credit as the game was going by because he hit 2 threes in a row and Josh Hart looked to get him a third one. He missed it, but he took 3 threes in a row. They looked to stay at the hot hand. And then I was like, all right, cool. And then Cam Payne went on another mini row. And I think he had like a floater and a 3-pointer again.
Right.
He was cooking, right?
He was out of the game until he came in.
Yeah, then Thibs took him out and he had a chance to freestyle. He had a chance to freestyle and not do the same robotic substitutions. And he still did the same robotic substitution. And Cam Payne didn't come in the game until about 2 minutes in the third quarter. And then when he got in there, he gave you energy. He may not have gotten the offensive touches, but as soon as he came in the game, I think he got a deflection steal that led to a Josh Hart dunk on a fast break. And then not too long after that, he takes him out. Like,
Cam Payne absolutely deserved more minutes tonight. Like, that's kind of crazy to have 18 points in 4 minutes and to get 12 minutes for the whole game and not touch the ball afterwards.
Like that, I was so mad. I'm like, I know he's not gonna do that. Even Clyde was mentioning like, oh, when we gonna see Cam? I'm surprised. He said, I'm surprised we didn't see Cam yet. And then Mike Breen is like, normally he comes in at the end of third quarter, beginning of fourth quarter. Like, that is so, look, everybody knows. But this game, that didn't call for that. This game called for you to reward Cam Payne for playing the way he was playing.
Yeah.
And the worst part is this is the third game now in the last month where I've made this statement that Cam Payne should have played more minutes. I have brought it up this now 3 times that I can remember with you two on the show where I was like, I don't understand why Cam Payne didn't come back in sooner, or I didn't know why Cam Payne didn't finish the quarter. That this is now game number 3, and again, that's why I try to get upset about contextualized situations and one game scenarios. It's the trends that really bother me, and this is like Thibs is now showing us he is showing us by the evidence that he is going to choose his game plan over what the game is telling him, which runs counter to what you hear in every press conference, which is follow what the game gives you. And he's not doing that. He is sticking by his game plan. And there's a lot of really ass-crat takes on Twitter, man. But people are like, well, he doesn't have guys on the bench. He has a bunch of yes men on the bench, and Leon's not going to pull him aside. Like, this is great coaches, the Datinalts, the Spolstras, the Finches, the Carlisles. They make those decisions without a assistant or a GM or an owner coming in and making those making it an issue. They know because they evolve with the game as the game evolves. And as I said to start my monologue, the game has evolved, in my opinion, beyond Thibs defensively, which is to me very worrisome because he is considered one of the greatest defensive coaches of the 21st century, which I think he is, but the game is no longer plays to his strengths. I don't really believe that he has a solid game plan to defend the perimeter. I don't think he knows how right now because it's changing so rapidly before him and it's so counteractive and counterintuitive, even worse, to how he regulates game rotations and defensive schemes when he's guarding the post. I don't see an outcome, a good outcome. I think it's just going to lead to frustrations in the postseason where we continue to underachieve, but we also give these 52, 55 game win seasons. I think both will continue. Either Leon needs to acquiesce and give him the players that match his style, including some larger wings off the bench, because Mikal and OG are just doing so much on offense and so much on defense. And when they sit, that 2 the starters have two undersized guys and Brunson and Hart, it gets worse. When Payne and Deuce share backcourt, it gets worse. When Precious Achiuwa plays the 5, it gets worse. When Landry Shamit's at the 3, all of these things, we always have these deficiencies with height. We're giving up size at every substitution. Every substitution right now, we're giving up size from the bench. This is not a Thibs roster. And this roster is real, in my opinion, kind of playing the best they possibly can, given the circumstances defensively. I don't know how you play better with Tom Thibodeau as coach and these guys as your 8-man rotation.
Do you go small? Like I'm still kind of shocked that Shamet is out of the rotation altogether.
Me too.
Because before I'm like you said before you was here, Ebony. Like there were games where like, damn, okay, maybe we should play Bacone, maybe we should play Bacone. But it's like, oh man, he doesn't play. I don't know what's happening in practice. He doesn't play rookies, whatever. But I always hung my hat on. He seems to trust Shamet. Even in preseason, there was times it seemed like he was even planning or thinking about going 10 deep in preseason. I remember having those conversations. I was like, wow, he always plays Cam, Deuce, and Shamet together. And he's been doing that for like 5 or 6 games in a row. It seems like he wants them to get comfortable, and I was kind of shocked. So to not do that really afterwards it's like kind of shocking me. And I'm like, man, can we get, if we're not gonna play Bacone because he's a rookie, can we at least get some Shamet in here who's been actually playing really good defense since he's been here? I mean, the 3-point shot hasn't been falling, but you look at his pass and go, that's gonna. You figured, all right, he's had a reputation of being a good 3-point shooter for his entire career. It's going to happen the more he gets reps. So I'm still shocked that Shamet is 0 minutes today.
I kind of seen it coming. Pause. I did. At the OKC game, after we gave him his praise here, like he got beat constantly in those games, and then the following game after that, his defense wasn't all that or his offense. So it was like a trend because remember, Cam Payne and him were going. Cam Payne was struggling, and then now Shamet is struggling, but we got Deuce. So you know how Thibs thinks. Okay, like we don't got to go through this. we don't have to go through this. I kind of seen that trending because his minutes became less and less, and what was holding him down, his defense was declining a little bit in those games too.
Mitch's return is going to do wonders for us. Well, first of all, we're going to have the best drop defender. I've given Sims props for being the best perimeter and the best pick and roll, but I think really in the deep drop to be able to recover then and guard at the level, Mitch is the best at that. He's shown that. It's why he started, I think, for so long. But he's not going to fix the perimeter defense whatsoever. Now, you don't have a better last line defense. Someone that's beat Bridges hard, he's going to be able to at least put a body on him. Hopefully make the shot more difficult, but he's not going to be able to be the guy out there guarding the perimeter and fixing a lot of our issues that we have right now. I don't think these issues are going to be fixed. I just, it's really frustrating. First of all, don't fire Thibs midseason. All right. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying fire Thibs even. All right. Even though it might sound like I'm getting that direction. I'm just saying this is going to be a summer. This summer is important. The playoffs are important. The summer's important. How he finishes the season's important. This, I think, is a summer that if you're going to make a decision is probably going to be made in June or July based on the performance of the postseason.
Yeah, we desperately need a wing that can play some defense and hit some threes and be taller than 6'5", 6'6". Like,
yeah.
Bacone, hurry up! I'm just hoping he takes a leap. Cause man, we need that so bad. Cause I just think that, especially with a team like today, where the Timberwolves are just really long in every position. Pause. I feel like even a team like today, he'll be even more hesitant to play a guy who's 6'5" because freaking Naz Reid is banging threes 6 feet behind the 3-point line, and Naz Reid is like 6'11", like he's tall as hell. So I feel like it's even going to be a taller hill to climb to get a shorter 6'5" pesky guard out there to try to defend that. We need height.
I feel like Bruce Banner Like, how the Hulk, he kind of has to like hide back the rage before he turns into a green monster. That's how I feel with the Fire Tips. I see the chat. The chat said, just say it, Lee. Just go ahead and say it. I'm not going to say it
Do it for
till
the
the
vine. I
season
ain't gonna
is
do it.
over. And one of the reasons that my least favorite people on Twitter are the ones saying Fire Tips right now. I can't be in line with people who I have no respect for. And I think it's a wrong take. I still think there is time to at least expand the rotation, play guys more minutes, and do something at the deadline. Maybe it's even sign TJ Warren to a contract, which apparently we can do in less than 15 days. That's size. That's 6'8".
Yeah.
But is Tibbs plan to play him? Does Tibbs play him? That's very important.
Yeah.
I think Leon is going to see what does the team look like when Mitch gets back? What areas do we improve in? How many minutes does he play? Who does he play well alongside? I think I agree with the chat. That's the last straw, I think. How Tibbs utilizes Mitch, how Mitch's impact both in defense, but also as a lob threat too, and being more activated on offense. All that's going to dictate, I think, a decision this summer.
Yeah, I agree with majority of that, but I disagree with the Mitch on the perimeter not fixing it, or not helping at least.
Really?
One thing I had to give credit to Mitch is that he did improve his perimeter defense. I remember when he was of help healthy for us, him staying in front of Giannis, him staying in front of Kawhi. I remember all these PG-13. He stayed in front of the likes of these people. Matter of fact, when we played Milwaukee, he forced Giannis to be a 3-point shooter. He was hitting them that game, but he forced him to be a 3-point shooter. So and then another thing he helps with the perimeter is that he's going to allow Deuce and all the defenders to be a little bit more aggressive, not thinking that they have to stay in front because there's no rim protection. So I can take a little bit more chances. I can take little bit more risk, knowing that I have the big man behind me to clean that up a little bit. So I think he will give more confidence and help people become more comfortable and like they don't have to do as much because they have help if things go awry.
Yes. You know what? Yes and no, because like Mitch is going to help, but nothing's going to help more than an actual perimeter player, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Nothing is going to help more than an actual perimeter player. Josh Hart, 38 minutes. OG Anunoby, 38 minutes. Mikal Bridges, 38 minutes. We're asking them to play high-level defense, cover, switch, and then hit threes. They can't.
Like with Mitch a little bit that pressure he alleviates.
He alleviates it, but they're still gonna be playing 38 minutes.
We don't know that because the shots they're hitting now, well, who says those go in? The running starts to the rim that they muscling people over. Who says they get that? This is what I'm saying. We don't know that just yet because we have to see what Mitch looks like with these folks.
Nah, I'm not saying Mitch is not going to look good or bad. I'm saying at the end of the day, you swapping out a center for a center. Mikal, OG, and Josh Hart are still playing close to 40 minutes a game. Like, we need to cut down their physical minutes.
Yeah. I will play I will as soon as Mitch comes, not as soon, because you got to work him back. But my thing is, I thought they brought him in here to play the 4 alongside of Mitch, like they did in Minnesota, because it worked so well with him in Minnesota. You get what I mean? That's what I thought would happen. And Thibs today actually played Precious and Sims together, and that didn't look bad. They actually stabilized the game a little bit. That's when Cam Payne actually went on his run, is when he was playing with them. So you never know. Maybe that's what he needs, that bigger front court area where you allow Cat and you allow Precious to play that 4 area, because that seems where they do best at.
If I can add, I think 2 of the complexities to that. The first one is if Mitch is playing, only a portion of those minutes will be shared with Cat.
Exactly.
Like Mitch is not starting. Cat is still going to start, and Cat is still going to finish, and Cat is still going to play the majority of minutes at the 5, which that gives you most minutes of a game. You don't have Mitchell Robinson's defense out there the majority of the minutes. That's just positional, what can happen. But as Jay said, that doesn't impact the production and the effort of the perimeter guys. And I think them being exhausted is one of the reasons why you saw I think it was 2 days ago where Brunson was asking OG for that pre-switch on the perimeter, seeing it coming, and OG just like lit them off. And it was like, bruh, guard yourself. I think these guys are just stretched too thin, having to do too much. And every game I watch, I see OG covering more ground than anyone, and it's causing him to lose a step, I think, defensively as well. Having to really, most of all, having a cover for Brunson.
Yeah.
I'm with playing Jacob. He doing his thing. Give him a chance. Long
Toppin?
after Toppin, yeah, he likes the
Yeah.
defensive end. Why not?
At this point, why not? I agree, Ebony. Why not?
So
Pacone, Shamit, anyone.
Anybody that at this point to get these guys a breather, because like I said, it seemed like we were motivated. We seemed like we were motivated to win this game. I don't think it's a coincidence that we started out hot from 3, and then as the game went along, like the shots started to break. Like I don't think, especially from Macau, who was kind of taking a lot of the load today. But
Pause.
and also, dogs. Can we have Sims play more? Like, bruh, Gobert is. I don't understand. Okay. Thibs has this obsession, not obsession. I'm not even gonna say obsession. He'd be right. Sometimes, all right, cool. You want to have long wings against long wings. You don't want to give up too much size. Except when you're playing a 7-foot Gobert, you want to go Precious at the 5 for long stretches of time. Like, I don't understand how your philosophy is like, we need size, except for this moment. I'm like, dude, Sims was playing really good defensively at the 5 to start the game.
Yes, he was.
Like,
looking for a shot, active.
Setting great screens.
Yeah.
Great. I think he's the best ball screener.
Yeah, breaking up alley-oops.
Yep.
Playing great pick and roll
break
defense.
up alley-oop when that was like Sims to me is I said this before the post game started to Lee. Sims is actually getting better defensively as the season is going along. Like some of the stuff that I praise Mitch for is like, man, Mitch can guard 2 people. And I think that's been coming with reps and learning how to use his lane. Like Sims is starting to use his athleticism. It's like, oh, I can hedge here to fake the lob and he's starting to get like the small nuances of the game defensively. Play this man against Gobert who's 7 feet tall. What the hell?
Remember, I always talk about the game slowing at different paces, at different pace for players, and how that changes for them. Because you see things instead of recovering or seeing things too late, you can see it before it happens. I think that's kind of what's happened to you. Seen when it happened for Mitch, and now you kind of see it happening for Sims. Like he's getting more comfortable in his role. He knows his spots. He knows where to go. So every once in a while, he gets out of position where he can't get to the ball. Like they'll seal him off, and he can't get to the person driving.
Right.
But he's become very good at all around defense at his job. Literally at his job.
Agreed.
At his role, he's become very good at it.
Yeah.
And I think he needs a little bit more minutes also. I agree with that, definitely, Jay.
He needs to be back in the rotation. This was kind of an aberration for him to come out and even play at all. I was surprised that he did. I was happy that he did. And then again, frustrated that he didn't play more. I don't, especially with Cat out too. It just it makes no sense. Like you're someone overcommitted to drop, but you don't play your best drop coverage player you have on your healthy right now. Precious at the 5 is awful every game. But this Gobert, he was getting his shit eaten at the rim. He was completely useless on offense. And not only was he useless, his decision-making on offense, the type of shots he was trying to take, I was like pulling my hair out, bro. I was like, Precious, you my dog. But this is low IQ basketball.
Yeah, Precious goes in between what the you doing, and that was amazing very often.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I told
play
you,
to play,
Jay.
Sometimes quarter to quarter.
It is play to play though, Jay. I told you our last pregame. I have trying to write down stuff so I don't forget. I wrote down, Precious terrible defense. 2 seconds later, while I'm writing, and he dunks on somebody or something like that. That's what I was like. He giveth and he taketh, like Clyde would say.
Yep.
He is very, very up. He's a very hot and cold.
Yeah, then it'd be good. He'll be good for a late rotation block though. That changes something. Mm-hmm. But it's like, woo. Can we just get? I know our channel might be sick of it, or maybe they are on board now. More Sims at the 5, please. Please, more Sims at the 5.
I agree with East Blue. East Blue Drew, I think that's the name. Yeah, East Blue Drew. Sorry, he said Clyde was roasting Thibs the whole game. That baby was throwing subs. He was throwing subs the whole game. The whole
his rotations, the minutes, The defense, yes.
The legs.
Yep.
Oh, the shots are hitting front. Could it be tight legs, folks?
And that's I'm having this realization in real time. Like it is. It's hard. It's so easy to pick a side, to either be a Thibs defender or be someone who just says fire Thibs all the damn time. It's harder to walk this line, toe this line between wanting it to work, but also seeing the fatal flaws in his coaching philosophy. Knowing that he gives a damn about basketball and he really wants to win. This is his dream job, but also knowing that the roster doesn't fit his coaching style and he just refuses to change very specific things about him, the core things that are things you need to have at the top level to win a championship. It's really frustrating, man. Like, this game is probably the most pissed I've been at Thibs because the last 5 losses, Thibs has been the reason. We've all agreed it's Thibs. This one really hurt.
This one hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it hurts, like you mentioned, because it's the same things we keep going through. It's like it's not progressing. I feel like broken records sometimes up here. You don't want to keep saying the same things, but that's a lot of our same problems. And I think that's the most frustrating about it, because this team, if we implemented a little something different, it will look a lot different. I really truly believe. If you trust your team, and how many times you got to see other teams trust their rookies, trust the other folks, even if they don't, they don't have to. They just their game. Now, okay, it's your game. We're gonna keep feeding you. Keep going. They feed into confidence, because you never know when you're going to truly need these players.
The title of this episode should have been Cam scores 40 points.
Facts.
Whether it be a loss or a win, it should have been Cam scores 40. Because that's crazy. He never touched. He touched the ball after the starters came back in. That's crazy.
Of all the things Thibs does, this is my number one frustration is that, and I mentioned this last game in 76ers, Nick Nurse, very similar to Thibs. Style, over-reliance on drop, like short rotations, doesn't really have like a sixth man that he gives a lot of shot opportunities to, doesn't play a whole lot of set plays, allows the point guard to run the offense. That guy played Justin Edwards 35 minutes last game and then dusted off Adam Bona and Jeff Doughton. Like, that's the one thing Thibs doesn't do. He has the guys they're on the bench. They're dressing, they're suited up, and he doesn't ever break the fire extinguisher to use in emergencies. That is really, really frustrating. Not just because we end up losing, but we never really know what these guys got. We never know what Jacob Toppin can give us in some minutes. We don't know if Pacome Dadiat to end up being first team all rookie, because he never gives them the opportunity consistently to show us in moments where it matters. When you don't have Cat, when the hell are you going to do it? Probably never.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead. I got nothing
I was about to say.
So.
I was gonna say, and it messes with your confidence. It messes with a youngin's confidence. Not knowing how to get on the court, not knowing what he can do to get on the court. And then the players become robotic. It becomes more, again, thinking than actually playing. So you might think about taking that shot, but you're like, I'm trying to stay on the court, so let me make the best pass or whatever. You start overthinking and not just doing things like natural.
I think that's happening to Deuce.
Yeah.
Look, can I ask y'all a question? Rate Jericho Sims' hook shot from 1 to 10.
I liked it.
About a 7.
Like 7. Yeah. He did that over Gobert.
You got to slow it down. He's got to slow it down.
It's on target.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy he took the shot. I'm like, this is game 2. Second game in a row where Jericho Sims is attempting offense. I'm like, let's keep this train going. Somebody's saying something to him in practice or something. Somebody is saying something to him. I don't think it's coincidence that 2 days in a row he's actually attempting shots after rebounds. Somebody's in his ear. So I'm happy he's starting to do that.
Me too. And Jay, it was very decisive. It wasn't, let me think about it.
Yeah.
He was very decisive in the move. Like, I'm going to go to this bucket.
I'm getting it. Exactly. Get your 2 shots a game, Jericho. Go ahead. Take your 2 shots.
Yeah. He shocked me, though. That was a surprise. I said, what?
Exactly.
What? That was my reaction at home.
Shocked us all. Even Gobert was shocked. He's like, wait, huh? I have to play defense now? Oh, wait. Okay. All right, cool. That's not on a scouting report. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else before we get to oohs and bruhs and all this other stuff? I don't even.
Gamers Channel has said he thinks that Mitch will start in the playoffs, and I don't think Thibs is going to wait until the playoffs unless it's like maybe he's just playing outstanding and he's like, I got to. But I think that might happen. I told y'all that in the beginning of the season. I think that might happen as we get closer to the playoffs. I see that working, and I know they're talking about minutes, but if it's working, it's working. So I see that working. Or even with Precious, just let him slide to the floor so he could roam and help on rebounds and the blocks and not be the sole rebounder and rim protector. He could come out and help because that seems like his best role.
Starting in the playoffs?
I think before the playoffs, actually, I think that it's going. I really think Mitch and Cat it will work.
I'll be shocked. I expect.
I don't think so.
I expect Mitch around 15 minutes a game or so.
Me too.
15, 17 minutes a game. Playing around 5 minutes next to Cat. Maybe extended minutes depending on the matchup or on what's going on. But that's what I foresee.
I see 15 minutes when he first come back, but I don't think that this is Tom Thibodeau. We talk about Mitch Robinson. I don't think that sustains as he gets back, and I think that's why they're taking their time now. So it won't be much of that whole restriction. I think they really learned from I'm hoping they learned from last year of trying to rush and take their time this time.
Does anybody think we're going to beat the Hawks? Don't ask me that.
No, I think we're going to lose.
We got to look. I don't want to lie. I ain't never said this before. I'm always like, yeah. I don't know. They have our prototype that we have problems with.
Yep.
A bunch of them.
Yep.
A bunch of long wings.
And they employ them all in the pick and roll that we can't defend.
Yep.
They're probably the best pick and roll team in the NBA. Them
and if you drop Dirty Lollipop is going to have a ball.
We are. He is.
Yeah.
Yep.
A ball.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh.
All right. All right. Let's get to the other part of the show.
Woo, boy.
Time for you guys. Are there any ooh picks or bro picks that you want to discuss?
No. I don't have any bro picks today. I want to say Thibodeau. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna do that.
One.
Can we get hold on? Can we give a bro picks? I mean, I know it's bad for the Knicks right now. But can we give a bro pick to the team across the pond?
Oh yeah.
The New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
The Nets. The Nets.
Bruh.
Oh my God. The group chat is like, guys, turn on Nets Clippers. What's going on? I'm usually when Lee does that, and he it's because the game is so good and it's back and forth, and I'm like, wow, the Nets Clippers game is going to be man,
Belt to ass.
epic, yes, epic ass whooping. Man, when I turned the channel, the Nets went down 50 points to the Clippers. 50.
Bruh.
I think they lost by 60.
Yeah, I think they lost by 69, maybe.
It got worse.
Ironically,
Is that
lost by
the
69
record?
because
Is that a record?
I don't know. There's a joke somewhere, but I need to find that final score. But that's my bro pick.
Yeah, I didn't have any today. The clip empty. No bro picks except for Thibs. That's it. And we had a super chat too, Jay. I think.
Oh yeah, Sandman.
Oh, Sandman Super Chat. Oh, they lost 67 to 126.
That's ugly.
59.
Ugly.
59. Okay, not quite 69. 59. Okay. 59. But hey, that's my bro pick. For sure.
Bruh.
In times of grief, I can always turn to the Nets.
Did we read Sandman Super Chat?
I'm about to. I'm definitely about to.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll do my bro pitch after.
All right. So shout out to Sandman who sent the $2 super chat to start the show. Shout out to you, Sandman. It says another it's a family show, so I'm not gonna read this. Another Thibodeau induced loss. So shout out to Sandman. All right. Go ahead, Lee. Take it away.
Yeah, my bro pick is Tom Thibodeau tonight. Ebony's right. I don't think we've ever used him as a bro pick, but the time is now because I just feel like we've had enough of a sample size to know his strengths, know his weaknesses. Overall, I have a deep respect for him. I think he's a top 5 coach currently right now based on legacy and resume. But I do believe a game's passing by defensively. And I hate that there's only 2 camps on Twitter. Either you want him fired at all costs right now and like elevate Rick Brunson, which is like absurd, or you cap and simp for him at every turn and make excuses and just be overly positive. But sometimes, just keep this in mind, there have been 2 instances where a very good coach who dragged their team to damn near 50 wins, in some instances won coach of the year, were fired, and that replacement, someone who didn't have a whole lot of experience, came in and took that great team to a championship. The first time was Dwayne Casey switching over to Nick Nurse, and the other time was Mark Jackson switching over to Steve Kerr. So sometimes that needs to happen. Now the question is Tom Thibodeau our Steve Kerr, or is he our Mark Jackson? I'm not sure yet, but I think that at the end of the season, we will know.
For sure.
Lee, that's the question I've been asking since Thibs got hired.
Right.
You hope to not have to have these conversations. That's what I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I know he had this great story how he was traveling with to see other coaches and how they coached in this new age of basketball, and he learned some things. I ain't see it.
And listen, you already know it's the truth. I feel like his time with Golden State was a big reason why we changed a lot of our offense last year to fit Jalen Brunson, and why we was able to kind of rebound after losing Julius Randle. You also heard how all the players say he's kind of relaxed as a coach. He's not as hard ass as he was before. So like I don't want to act like he hasn't changed over the past years, because he has. At the end of the day, though, there are still certain things that's holding him back as a coach right now, for sure. And it's rearing his ugly head right now. So although he has changed over the years, for sure, and we reap the benefits of that, there's still more growing to do.
Yeah, and I want to be clear. I've mentioned on the show many times on how he's changed. I've gone depth on the ways that he's changed, but specifically defensively, the scheme that he employs night after night, which does not change, which is an initial play into drop. That I don't think he can change, and he never is. And yeah, it's a question mark. Yeah, that's who's out there. You know, we've already done the trades. There's no more trades to be made. This is the roster. Leon's aren't going anywhere. There's only one move to make from here if we don't reach our goals, which is firing the coach and finding a new voice. That's the only thing left.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll have to wait and see how this season unfolds. Hopefully some things change. We'll see. You already know how it goes. Well, I'll be looking at Ian. Like right now, we're still third in the East. I feel like we're gonna have to lose a lot more games for it to be like a hot seat situation.
Agreed.
Right now, we're still third in the East, and we're just kind of concerned fans noticing trends. But there's gonna have to be like a lot more consecutive losing before that question is raised. So, but we'll see how this goes, because this is a rough month. This is our most challenging month. Our strength of schedule, we had the hardest schedule in the NBA. So if there's going to be a time to prove himself, the time will be now for sure.
Amen. Perfectly summed up. And shout out Phil in the chat. I see you, Phil.
Shout out to Phil. I got Phil in the chat. All right, go ahead.
He said what Thibs ain't is a defensive mastermind, like people claim. Still can't guard the 3-point in the NBA. Yep.
All right, shout out to the chat. Shout out to Gamer Channel, Sandman, Easter Blue, Felicia Lee, Fritz Alessandro, Mark Bajwar, the Predicate, Phil Porto, of course, the great Phil Porto. Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. If you like the show, man, hit that like, subscribe. We here after every game talking Knicks basketball, whether it's good, whether it's bad. We are here, unless there's some weird technical difficulties or something. But we are usually here talking Knicks basketball. If you enjoy the show, hit that like, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. Y'all been really, really good to us this year with super chats. So it's not lost on me. I appreciate you guys' support. But if you can't support that way with the super chats or the cash apps or whatever, you already know, just retweet, send the links. If you follow us on Twitter, easy way to support us is when we tweet something on Twitter, just to retweet it. Just help to get the word out that KOT is here. All right, cool. All right, yo. So that's the show.
I just wanted to answer Sharon real quick.
Go ahead.
We 55%. They shot 55% from the three.
Yeah, they
Minnesota.
Atrocious.
57.
57. Oh, 57.
21-37.
And they might have shot like 53% from the field. Let me see. Let me check.
We're currently
I'm trying to
25th
look.
in the
I look
NBA.
on NBA.com in the change. Let me see.
We are 25th in the NBA in guarding the 3-point line.
That's not gonna cut it. That's not gonna
Tom
cut it.
Thibodeau, a genius defensive coach, and we're 25th in the NBA in guarding the 3. Don't see how that correlates. Doesn't make sense in my mind.
They went 22 for 40. Say 55 on this. Or am I looking at free field goal? Nope, that's the free throw. I mean, that's a 3-point percentage.
Yeah.
22 for 40.
Defense is horrible. We gotta fix that. Definitely gotta fix that.
It is everywhere.
Fires everywhere. All right, yo. That's the show. Any book club? Are you still writing? Releasing no book club stuff today?
No, but I do want to eulogize a top 30 favorite director of mine. I'm gonna keep it short. I feel like I talked a lot this podcast. Shout out David Lynch, man. Total icon for me. Someone I grew up idolizing for his weirdness, strangeness. Creator of Twin Peaks, the TV show, Mulholland Drive, Eraserhead, a bunch of Blue Velvet, classic top films of all time. I have a Eraserhead poster over my TV, but I always just liked someone who was unafraid to be weird and unafraid to be himself. And that was David Lynch. And I just want to shout out one of my favorite directors for inspiring me to be who I am internally. Thank you, David Lynch. Rest in peace, my brother.
Okay, all right. What about Ebony? Any book clubs or anything?
No, I'm still reading the same book, so no.
Cool. I got no type of recommendations or anything today. Oh, that boxing anime is back on Netflix, so I'm gonna watch season 2 of that. I forgot the name. Is it Ippo or something? I forgot Ippo. I think his name is Ippo. I'm probably gonna start watching that again. I always thought that one was cool because it gets into the details of stances and how to figure out when guys are tired. Like they do a really good job of just narrating.
Is that the Iron Fist guy?
Iron Fist guy? No, it's not.
I think it's Ebo. You said what's the name of it?
I think it's Ippo. I think it's Ippo or something like that. I gotta look it up. I'm gonna check that out. And I've been talking about solo leveling for the past few days. Definitely check that out on Crunchyroll if you have it, for sure. All right. That's the show. Shout out to Knicks, Bucks, and Buckets on TikTok. I see you, my guy. Thank you for watching with us. I see Matt Knicks fan. I was on TikTok watching too. I see you, man.
I said, let me see what's over here.
How's the screen look over there?
It's good. We good.
Yeah. You see the setup over there, the TikTok setup?
Yeah, that's what I said. Let me see what's over
Yeah.
here.
There you go. All right, yo, that's the show. Thank you guys for watching, man. Next game is what, the 20th?
Yeah, I believe
Sunday,
so.
I think, right?
Don't give me the fib in.
Nah, it might be Monday. Hold on.
I needed a break.
I need
same thing, trust me.
Yeah, that's for real. The Knicks, right?
Yeah.
Monday. You're right, Jay. Monday
at
Atlanta,
7:30 or something like that, or it's going early, Martin Luther King time.
Oh, isn't that game usually early?
Usually.
Yeah, 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
All right. So, yeah, we'll be back.
Good call, bro.
We'll be back for MLK Day watching the Knicks versus the Hawks. And hopefully that is a win. Hopefully.
It looks like Trae Young didn't play last game. And neither did Jalen
he'd
Johnson.
be there against us.
Yeah. It looks like him and Jalen Johnson missed last game.
Mm,
Mm.
mm.
Always missed the game before.
Yeah,
Getting
yeah.
ready.
Didn't work out for the
Oh,
76ers. Didn't work out.
they play Boston tomorrow, then they play us.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
okay.
yeah. Well, yeah, beat them up first, Boston, please. All right. Thank you.
Boston going through a little ups and downs himself right now.
Yeah, they sure are. They sure are.
Hey, another example. Atlanta Hawks, they don't have Tony Capella. They play someone named Keaton Wallace. He drops 27, 6, and 6 in 38 minutes. So sometimes that's just like lean on your damn depth, man. I don't get it, bro. Holy hell.
You never know.
Someone named Daquan Plowden. I didn't know who that guy was. He had 19 points in 25 minutes.
Plowden is
Damn,
crazy.
man. This shit's pissing me off, bro.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Unbelievable, bro.
Yeah, man.
Come on.
Let's go. We need one of those randoms to do that for us. All right, yo. That's the show. Thank you guys for watching. You already guys know the deal.
Shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks streets. That's the show. We out this mug. Peace. Alrighty then.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.